Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Downs. I am head of products at OpenFunction. And OpenFN is a partner to a number of NGOs and governments around the world. We do data integration and process automation to help sort of drive interoperability for these health and humanitarian interventions primarily. Today, in the sort of old school spirit of a tech conference, I'm going to do a live demo and see if everything doesn't break. But I'll take you through a few slides first. What do we work on? What's the problem that we work on? It's basically that all these health and humanitarian interventions use a lot of different technologies to get the job done. And this isn't a problem. We actually think it's a good thing to have different user groups interacting with different tools and different systems. So T0 here, you're probably all familiar with this stage of integration where you have a lot of humans behind the scenes trying to move data between these different systems. T1, you may be familiar with sort of moving into ad hoc scripting and trying to set up connections between the different systems in a health architecture, trying to set up those connections in a bunch of different places on a bunch of different systems with a bunch of different scripting languages. And really what OpenFN is providing for folks is a standardized way of connecting all of these different tools with different APIs. Maybe taking data from Reach 52 and hitting up some of those wonderful OCL APIs that we just heard about before loading that data into, I don't know, a Happy Fire server or a DHIS2 system. What this looks like with the organizations that we work with is sort of modeling out a business process that has a bunch of different systems and a bunch of different busy work that needs to get done. So transforming payloads and adhering to standards and sending referrals from one system to another. I want to show you two things in this quick lightning demo. The first is the platform that runs at openfn.org, I'll click into that in a moment. But the next thing I want to show you is our fully free and open source deployment route using OpenFN microservice. And with the help of a number of organizations, including the folks at Gemby and Digital Square and a number of others, we've recently put together a really cool instant OpenHIE demo that includes OpenFN baked in as part of instant OpenHIE. So I'll show you both those things in the next 6.5 minutes if I get my timing right. Sorry, and just this slide, I suppose I didn't explain very well. The two different ways of working with OpenFN, or the two big ways of working with OpenFN, one is using the platform and other is using microservice. We've built them in such a way that they're completely interchangeable. So you can export a configuration that you're running on openfn.org, and you can run it locally or deploy it inside an instant OpenHIE deployment, for example. So I'll come back to this slide in a second. I'm gonna click over to OpenFN, and I hope you guys can still see my screen. So a really common setup for OpenFN is maybe to have a number of different service providers need to be alerted when some sort of case event takes place. So for this little demo, I thought we could have an inbound case update from ComCare trigger a number of different things all at once. And the different things that are happening right now on the platform is we're creating a contact in a Salesforce system, we're adding a registrant in a Google Sheet, and we are creating a tracked entity instance in DHIS2. And all of these things are different jobs on the platform. So if we head over to the jobs page, you'll see we have our create contact job, our create TEI job, and our register Google Sheet job. Jobs are what we do on the platform. When we do those things, that's called a trigger. And you can see that all three of those jobs started running instantaneously when we detected a COVID case registration, a particular form being filled out in CommCare. But on OpenFN, you can also do things when other jobs succeed, or when other jobs fail. Here, maybe when a CHW payment fails, we want to, I don't know, send them an SMS apologizing and figure out another way to send payments. And finally, you can have jobs that run based on the passage of time. So you can write a cron expression and have a job that runs every day, every hour, or every second Tuesday of the month. The final part of configuration on OpenFN is the credential. And so jobs are what we do, triggers are when we do it, credentials are how we access these protected APIs. And for today's demo, just to keep everything cool, we're using a play instance of DHIS2 that's public and on the web, and you probably have all interacted with before. So when this submission comes in from CommCare, another one will probably show up in a second, we see that these jobs are triggered. You can control the concurrency, decide how many workers are performing these integrations at the same time. What they actually look like depends entirely on how you're mapping your data. So in OpenFN, if we check out sort of the interface for building these different scripts, here we can see we're creating a contact using the language Salesforce adapter. And we have this big library of probably 60 or 70 open source connectors that connect to some of the most commonly used systems in the ICT4D space. But each adapter provides a specific set of helper functions that allow you to interact with that system's API in particular. So actually, if we check out one with a big API like DHIS2, you'll see there are a ton of different ways we can interact with DHIS2 here. But we're using this create TEI helper function. So this is the platform, and there are a lot of features around sort of long-term health of these integrations, and that includes stuff like access and security, version control, concurrency management, exports, and audit logs. But say we want to actually run this within an OpenHIE deployment, within an instant OpenHIE deployment. What we can do is head over to the project settings page, click export config, and you've got your choice here. You can either export this thing as a project.yaml file, which defines an OpenFN configuration, or you can actually export it as a zip folder. And that'll have everything inside you need it to extract and simply type docker run. And when that thing gets up and running, it'll basically look like this. I'm now switching over to like our public test suite. When you run OpenFN within the instant OpenHIE setup, it will set up all the different artifacts required for an instant OpenHIE deployment, as well as this microservice artifact. And it'll configure microservice in the way that we've defined for this particular project. The tests aren't super exciting right now. It just waits a little while and makes sure that after various form submissions come in from CommCare or from Kobo, the resources get created properly in Happy Fire. But this is really big because it means that whenever you're sort of demoing something or working on something on openfn.org, you can also package it up in such a way that it's consumable instantly in instant OpenHIE, and in such a way that you can deploy it on your own servers and not have to rely on a managed deployment from OpenFN. as well as not have to worry about sort of administering a very large web application. You can run these little microservices as standalone jobs that sit inside Instant OpenHIE. So this is sort of what it looks like from a watered down architectural point of view. And the thing I want to leave you with on this demo, as I'm just running out of time, is that we've probably got 60 or 70 different adapters, but we can, of course, connect with anything that has a REST API. And if things use JSON and have webhooks services, that's even better. It's even quicker to set up. So I'm really excited about this because I think, you know, our role as sort of a bridge into the OpenHIM and into the Instant OpenHIE architecture could really be crucial in the years to come, because there are so many cool technologies being used in the sort of community health workforce and various other places in ICT4D. So I'll stop sharing. I'll stop sharing for now, and thanks very much for checking this out. If there are any questions, please drop them in the chat or shoot me a note afterwards. You can find me, Taylor at openfn.org.